Let me ask you something. You get paid, money hits your account, you tell yourself you're going to save this time, for real this time, maybe even invest a little. You've got a plan. And then life happens. A dinner out here, a spontaneous online order there, a weekend trip you didn't plan for. And by the time you check your balance 2 weeks later, you're staring at a number that makes absolutely no sense. Where did it all go? Here's the thing. This isn't a discipline problem. It's not a willpower problem. And it's definitely not because you don't care about money. It's a system problem. And today, I want to show you one of the simplest, most psychologically powerful money setups that most people have never heard of. But the ones who use it, they save more, stress less, and actually start building wealth, almost on autopilot. It's called the two-account system. And by the end of this video, you're going to wonder how you ever managed money without it. So here's how most people handle their money. And I want you to be honest with yourself as I describe this. You have one bank account, everything goes in. Your salary, your freelance payment, your birthday money from grandma, all of it lands in the same place. That one account is your life account. It pays your rent, it buys your groceries, it covers your Netflix subscription, your gym membership you barely use, your spontaneous Friday night decisions, and theoretically, it's also supposed to be building your future. One account doing everything. Now, here's the psychological problem with that. When you look at your bank balance, your brain doesn't see savings and spending money as two separate things. It just sees a number. And whatever that number is, that's how rich you feel. If you have $2,000 in there, your brain registers you as a $2,000 person. And a $2,000 person can probably afford that thing you've been eyeing, right? Psychologists call this mental accounting. The way our brains assign different emotional values to money depending on context. And here's the catch. When all your money lives in one place, that context disappears. The $300 you were planning to save looks exactly the same as the $300 you can freely spend. Same digits, same account, same wallet. And your brain? Your brain will spend it. This isn't a character flaw. This is just how human psychology works. We spend what feels available. We protect what feels separate. And when everything is in one pot, everything feels available. So what's the fix? This is where the two-account system comes in. The idea is almost insultingly simple. You split your money into two separate bank accounts with two completely different jobs. Account 1 is your spending account. This is your everyday life: rent, food, transport, socializing, entertainment, everything you spend in the normal flow of your week. Think of this as your operating account. The money in here is meant to be spent. You don't feel guilty spending it. You don't second-guess yourself. It's fuel for your daily life. Account 2 is your future account. This one has one rule. Money goes in, but it doesn't come out easily. This is for savings, investments, emergency funds, long-term goals. Think of it as a vault, not locked forever, but locked enough that you have to make a conscious decision to touch it. Now, here's where the psychology kicks in, and this is the part that makes the system actually work. The moment you open a second account and give it a different purpose, your brain starts treating that money differently. It's the same dollars, but because they're in a different place with a different label, your brain gives them a different emotional weight. Researchers at the University of Chicago found something fascinating. People spend less money when they keep savings in a separate account, even when they know they can access it anytime. Just the physical separation creates a psychological barrier. It makes the money feel less like spending money and more like hands-off money. That friction, that small moment of inconvenience when you'd have to transfer funds to spend it, that pause is worth hundreds of dollars a year. Let me put it in a simple comparison. Imagine your money is water, and you're trying to fill two buckets, one for today and one for the future. If you pour all the water into one big tub and try to keep track of which portion is for which bucket, you'll drink from both without even realizing it. But if you pour the water directly into two separate buckets the moment you get it, you can see exactly what's available. You stop accidentally drinking from the future bucket. That's the two-account system. Two buckets, different jobs, no confusion.
Now, I want to go a little deeper here, because there's a behavioral principle behind all of this that explains why it works so well. It's called the default effect. Humans are wired to follow the path of least resistance. Whatever is easiest to do, whatever requires the least thinking, the least effort, the least friction, that's what we do by default. And most of the time, we don't even realize we're doing it. When your savings and spending are in the same account, the default is to spend. The money's right there. There's no step between wanting something and paying for it. No pause, no barrier. The path of least resistance runs straight from your paycheck to your impulse purchase. But the two-account system flips the default. When your future account is separate, saving becomes the default. You set up an automatic transfer, even a small one, the day your paycheck hits, before you've opened Instagram, before you've checked any deals, before your brain has had the chance to count that money as available. The money moves before you can spend it. Saving stops being a decision you have to make. It becomes something that just happens. And here's the really important part. You never actually feel the loss. There's a concept in behavioral economics called loss aversion. The idea that losing something feels about twice as painful as gaining the same thing feels good. This is why saving is psychologically uncomfortable. When you manually move $200 from spending to savings, your brain registers that as a loss. You had $200, now your balance says $200 less. That stings. But when the transfer is automatic, when it happens before you ever see the money in your spending account, there's no loss. Your brain never counted that $200 as available, so it never misses it. It's the same $200, but one version hurts and one version doesn't. This is actually the same principle behind why 401k employer enrollment works so well in companies that use automatic opt-in. When employees are automatically enrolled and have to opt out to stop saving, participation rates are dramatically higher than when they have to opt in. The default does the work. Your two-account system is basically building that same psychological infrastructure, but for yourself. So, how do you actually set this up? Step 1. Open a second bank account if you don't already have one. Many banks and online banking apps make this free and fast. Some people even prefer to use a completely different bank for their future account, so the money is genuinely out of sight, out of mind. A little extra friction is a feature, not a bug. Step 2. Decide on your split. There's no perfect number here. This isn't a one-size-fits-all system. Some people do 80-20. 80% goes to spending, 20% goes to the future. Some people start with 90-10 just to build a habit. The percentage matters less than the consistency. A small automatic transfer every month for years will beat a heroic saving effort that you abandon after 3 weeks. Step 3. Automate the transfer. The whole system only works if the money moves before you have a chance to spend it. Set up a recurring automatic transfer the same day your paycheck hits, or even the day after. Make it invisible. Make it boring. That's the goal. Step 4. Name your accounts. This sounds small, but it matters more than you think. Savings account is vague and easy to raid, but house fund or freedom account or never touch this, those labels create emotional meaning. Research in behavioral finance shows that people save significantly more when their savings goals have specific names attached to them. Your brain responds to stories, not spreadsheets. And then, leave it alone. Let it grow. Check in on it monthly if you want to feel good about your progress, but don't treat it like your spending account. It's not for this month. It's for the version of you that's 5 years from now looking back and feeling grateful. Here's the truth that most personal finance advice misses. Managing money isn't really a math problem. We all know we should spend less than we earn. We all know we should save. We all know investing matters. The information isn't the issue. The issue is that we're human, and humans don't make financial decisions with spreadsheets. They make them with emotions, habits, and whatever feels easy in the moment. The two-account system doesn't try to fight that. It doesn't ask you to become a different person. It doesn't demand perfect discipline or endless willpower. It just builds a better default. It makes the smart choice the easy choice, and over time, slowly, quietly, in the background, it starts to compound. Not just your money, your habits, your mindset, the way you relate to your future self. Because here's the final thought I want to leave you with. Every time you make that automatic transfer, every time the money moves before you even see it, you're casting a vote for the person you're becoming, a person who has options, a person who isn't one bad month away from panic, a person who built something, not through sacrifice and suffering, but through a simple system they set up once and let run. That's the real wealth, not the balance, the behavior. Set up your two accounts this week. Start small if you have to, but start. because the best time to build a system like this was years ago. The second best time is right now.